Hi, welcome to Ride Alongside. Today, I'm going to discuss with you the 5 biggest challenges when starting out single speed. All right, here we go. Well, 5 most difficult things about going single speed. It's actually kind of hard to come up with this list. Mostly because single speeding's awesome. So I hope you guys like this format, talking while I'm riding in the dells. I'm a little bit out of breath if you couldn't tell. And there's a lot of erosion, so I'm gonna dab here and there. Maybe even go down on camera. Woo! That was a good mud hole. Oh yeah, I got it. I was hoping I was filming. So there is the depth of that water hole right there. I wasn't expecting that, but we've gotten a lot of rain. This is one of the only places where I can really ride when it's super wet or snowy. There's not much clay, death mud out here, and it's mostly just this granite and decomposed granite like I'm on right now. But I'll have to be a little more careful. The trails are definitely different than last time I was out here. So although I do know where most of the lines go, I'm a little thrown off, as you can tell. The other thing is that I've got these Icon 2.2 tires, which are a little bit underkill for this area. There's plenty of traction usually, but bigger tires will conform to the rocks and the little valleys, little cracks in the rocks a lot better. Got to run these definitely above 20 psi, but sometimes closer to 25 in order to not rim strike. So there's an alternative line, goes up this way. I've done a video sharing that before. The main line goes around this way. The A line, as they say, A line and B line. And I'm gonna take it easy today, especially because I'm trying to talk to you guys on camera, not be entirely out of breath. But I hope this gives you guys a feel of what it might be like to ride alongside of me in person, somewhat. There's another beeline that goes that way. I like that one a lot. Like I said, I'm gonna take it easy and just cruise. So I'm talking to you about the 5 most difficult things you'll find when transitioning over to single speed from gears. So, number 5. If I can make it up here. Yes. No dad. That was deeper than usual. Number 5 is bike shops and other riders won't have the components or gear that you want to use. So what does that mean? Well, and service is included in this. They might not be able to provide the service that you're looking for. So if you go into a bike shop and you say, I want to go single speed, they very well might have single speed cogs, single speed specific chain that'll work. It's not like you need a special derailleur or shifter or cassette, but you do need a cog and a chain, and you need a way to tension it. So if your frame is able to be tensioned for single speed or an internally geared hub, then you just need the cog and the chain. Sounds easy, right? Well, some shops will not have either the size cog you're looking for or the quality of the cog that you're looking for. And they're small, so they're easy to order online. But you also will probably need a single speed spacer kit for your hub. And you gotta have the right hubs too. So a Shimano HG hub that can run like a Shimano 9, 10, 11 speed cassette will work well. Man, this looks so different. Lots of runoff. So, again, you need a frame that's single speed compatible. Finding one of those at the shop could be difficult. You need a chain that'll work with your single speed cog. And you'll need a way to tension it. So if your frame doesn't allow for tensioning, you have to get a tensioning device. The Surly Singulator is probably the most popular one. You can message me or leave a comment if you're curious about how to tension your single speed if you don't have a frame that has tensioning built in. So I'll roll in some footage here of my Chumba Sendero and the Paragon machine mounts that it has on the rear wheel and how that tensions the chain for that, as well as how to get the rear wheel off. That's something one of my friends, Jeff, wanted to see in a video. So let me roll that in right now. All right, so here's how to take off the rear wheel of a single speed, at least one with these Paragon slide outs. So it's really just a 12mm through axle. So once you pull the axle, you just drop it down and set it on the ground if it's on a bike stand like this. And then you just pull the chain off the cog. There you go. Saying about how bike shops might not have what you need in stock. they also might not know how to work on single speed bikes or your particular frame all that well. Most will, but some will not. It just depends on what they're familiar with, what their clientele likes, and if your town has a lot of single speeders in it, well then it's probably gonna work out better for you. But even then, it's hard for them to keep in stock what everybody might want. If you live in a urban center, they might stock single speed cogs for the fixie riders that are on road bikes. Man, we got a lot of water in the creek. Or like in my town, a lot of people aren't running 3221 like I am. This is a really easy gear for a lot of single speeders. Some guys even run 30 or 22 tooth cogs or 23, 24 riding out here. But in the pines, it's a lot more flowy and a lot less steep up and down stuff real quick like this. You know, guys might even run 17, 18, 19 stuff. Man, it's different out here today. So just keep that in mind as far as cogs go. For chains, the service part of it can be very tough, mostly because the chains can be closer to BMX chain than actual mountain bike chain. So just kind of want to keep that in mind. Yeah, I actually broke a chain breaker on this KMC single speed chain that I have. I was really surprised that it broke a chain breaker. I still have my shifter on here. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but I just hit it for the first time this morning, and it's really funny. I wanted some more gears. My first ride with the single speed since switching it over again, and I'll switch it. Should have made that spot. I'll switch it every once a year sometime, usually just to remind myself why I like single speed so much. And gears are fun too, but they aren't simple and clean like single speed. Anyway, it can be hard because going back to number 5, still on number 5, guys, hang with me. Other riders you ride with probably won't have quick links if you bust your chain or whatever, or like I said, the chain, when it breaks, you might need a chain breaking tool, and the ones your buddies have might break. That'd be a bummer, to break your friend's chain breaker on the trail trying to fix your single speed. So just things to keep in mind, and why there's a lot of tadpoles right here. I don't know if you guys can see those swimming around. They're really cool. Had enough water in here to really get a shot of that with my camera. But this place is beautiful. It's just gorgeous. I'm impressed by it every time I come here, whether it's full of water or not. So yeah, number 5 is just the parts and service and friends, it's going to be different, and most people aren't going to know what you want. So feel free to hit up people like me that have been single speeding for over a decade and have some experience. I've got experience racing on single speed too. So just hit up people that single speed, and they'll guide you in the right direction, especially for your trails and conditions. I hit up my friend Eric about riding single speed in the Dells, and he said you'll get frustrated because you'll spin out, but you want a really easy gear for going slow like this. And although I'm not making everything today, I'm making more than I possibly could if I was in a harder gear. So 32-21 works good for something like this. Alright, that was really funny. My friend Eric, I was just talking about, who I consulted with about gearing for the Dells. He just sent me a text, asked me if I want to do some weightlifting this afternoon. Nope, I don't have time. I got work and all my free time's out here right now. So I sent him a picture. He's gonna probably be jealous. Eric is phenomenal on the bike out here, uphill or down, anything super steep. He's amazing, fun to watch. I've got at least one video of him in the Dells on Instagram, I think. So anyway, I think I beat number 5 like a dead horse. So that's fun. Oh man, that's like quicksand right there. Definitely different than last time I was out here. All right, so number 4, you have to stand on the pedals and climb. You can't just sit. So that might sound like, oh, it's no big deal, I figured as much. But with a lot of the new geometry bikes out there that I've experienced, and this may be just a personal gripe of mine, but I think it's more than that. I think it's more of a universal truth than just my subjective opinion, but you can take it with a grain of salt anyway. The seat post angles that we're getting these days. Let's see, which way do I want to go? I'm totally offline. I'm supposed to be over there somewhere in the wash. The seat post angles that we're getting these days are so steep that it's not a problem when you've got your dropper down, which is how I tend to ride most of the time in technical terrain when I know what's coming up. But I'm sure we've all been there where we've left our dropper post up and we really wish we would have dropped it before that section. So that's one thing when you're going downhill. It's another thing when you're going uphill, and you guys have seen me lose traction or have to put a foot down or whatever, single speeding, and we'll get to that in another point coming up. But my current point, number 4, so you gotta stand up to climb. You gotta make sure your seat's out of the way if you got a super steep seat tube angle, like a lot of bikes have these days. And If you're like me, you will forget, and then it will suck. Forget if this is a trail or not here. I want to say that it is not. Now, I guess it is. It's showing we're right at the junction here. So I was hoping it was. I need a breather to talk to you guys. The thing about, it's just gotten overgrown because not that many people ride it. The thing about standing and climbing is that your suspension will bob. My friend Eric really likes that rigid fork for a multitude of reasons, and I do too for riding single speed, even when it is, I think I'm on the trail here. Maybe I missed a turn. Even when it is, even in technical terrain, it is nice to have a rigid fork because your suspension doesn't dive underneath you. I'm sure many of you veteran riders have had brake dive in a corner, or there's been a D out or whatever, and you have lost your flow because of it, and I hate that. So a rigid fork, it isn't the best for everything, but it is really good. I think this all just washed out. I don't see the way forward. Oh yeah, it's right here. I was going the right way. I saw the white dots. But the rigid fork is great because it doesn't dive and it's solid. It's something that you can, you can rely on. It doesn't dive. So that's pretty much number 4. Number 3 is you will need to be okay with walking. This is what I'm doing right now and what I've done a few times. Yeah, I highly recommend you session stuff. Try to get up it. Don't give up. But the other side of that is that you will be walking some sections that you normally, with gears, especially wide range gearing, 51, 52 tooth, 12 speed drivetrain guys, I'm talking to you. You're used to going slower than you can walk. And that's another point for another video I'm going to make about the best things about single speeding. So, spoiler alert, one of the best things is that you can often, and what I've done in races, is run up a hill, and you're faster than you would be if you're riding a bike with wide range gearing. Now, don't get me wrong, I can't run for much more than a mile very well, so I'm just talking about short sprints, but you can walk faster than a lot of people can ride up a hill. So keep that in mind. It's not a bad thing to walk, people. Yeah, it feels better to ride. It's smooth. You can roll. It just feels better, right? But walking is not bad. Hike a bike is not the end of the world. In fact, it's probably good for your muscles a little bit to get some cross training. All right, going all the way to the top. So that's number 3. Get used to walking. You're gonna need to do it, and if you don't, you might be hurting your knees. So don't put too much torque on your knees. Don't think that you're, gonna be macho and suck it up and just keep at it. Just walk. It's not a problem. You won't be off the bike for long. Number 2 is the opposite. So spinning out on the flats. This is often the reason I change back to gears once a year or more. I hate spinning out on the flats. It has actually wrecked my knee. Well, I've had hamstring and calf tendonitis because of it. Trying to figure out. Oh, here we go. So, and again, don't spin out your legs too much. Be okay with whatever gear that you've chosen, and you know, run your own race kind of thing. I did it when I was racing single speed. That's when I had hamstring and calf tendonitis. But it can be a problem if you're geared wrong for a long enough period of time and you push yourself too hard. So that's kind of it's kind of the remedy, is have lots of cogs and even lots of chains that are cut to the right length for your bike for that cog. Keep them together in a little baggie, and you know, switch between them depending on the anticipated course you'll take, especially if it's long. If you're bike packing or multiple day trips or something like that, it's going to matter a whole lot more in those situations. Basically, the more the miles, the more you want to have the right gear for the terrain. You guys are all waiting for number 1. I normally go up this rock wall and do a wall ride thing, but I've slipped on it when it's been wet before with bigger tires. I'm not going to do it today. Like I said, I'm going to take it easy. Talking to you guys, hanging out, riding alongside. All right, number 1. The hardest part about going to single speed from gears is that you're always in the wrong gear. Always. So the inverse of that is also true. You're always in the right gear. So if you talk to a single speed fan, they pretend that they're all masochistic and stuff. Dude, we're not masochistic. We're not looking to hurt ourselves. We don't enjoy the pain, at least most of us. There are some. I won't speak for them. But single speed is a zen type riding experience. You're always in the right gear, but you're also always in the wrong gear. So like you saw me mention earlier, I won't make it up this, I don't think. No. I need to get more single speed legs under me for this gear, for those moments. And you'd be surprised, sessioning something like that, you'll find that, oh, I got the wrong gear. No, you got the right gear. You just need to cowboy up, partner. get some legs under you. Now it does take different muscle groups than riding gears. Just like, you know, riding a hardtail is gonna take different muscle groups than riding full suspension. It's just different style of riding. I really enjoy it though. There's no chain slap. When I back pedal with single speed, it is super smooth because there's no clutch. There's where I went deep in the sand, and I probably will again. Oh, I made it. That feels great. It's so nice to keep rolling. I said, you know, be comfortable with walking. Yeah, but if you only put down a foot or two, that's not very fun. If you have to walk for more than 10 steps, sure, get used to that. But anyway, I'm going back through the different numbers. So yeah, you're always in the wrong gear. But like I said, have different cogs ready and waiting with different chains is is the real ticket. But yeah, just ride for at least 3 months single speed before you give up on it, and maybe change your cog. My friend Brian, he'd run his gravel bike in a single speed configuration. I think it was 4219 or something, you know, something pretty difficult. Keep up his speed on the gravel. He wasn't taking it in areas like this, so that makes sense. But then he switched over his mountain bike. You know, it's just a hardtail. He's got a nice fox fork like I do on the front, and mud's not easy. The rocks are easy, the mud not so easy. Most of it's decomposed granite here, but a little offline here. There are some silty spots though, this runoff. Not very much clay or anything, but a little silty. Anyway, Brian, he's got a nice salsa timberjack with fox fork, and he wanted to switch it over to single speed because it's got a single speed tension style dropout. And so I told him, yeah man, let's go for it. So my point of bringing him up is that he had used too easy of a gear at first, and he found that his legs were already strong enough to run a harder gear. So he went to the bike shop, got himself another cog, and we tensioned it up for him and got him into right gear. Although he's been telling me he's getting a lot stronger, I guess, because he's thinking of going even one tooth less in the back. So I'll take a picture here in the sun. But yeah, that's basically it. You want to get the right gear, and don't be afraid to switch them up. You're not stuck with what you have. The single speed cogs are actually really easy to change out. It's easy for a bike shop. If they don't know what they're doing with the single speed stuff, there's lots of stuff online. It's not hard. You might have to get a few different tools. You have to get a cassette removal tool if you have a hub like this, and you have to get a good chain breaker. And I mean, that's kind of pretty much it. It's not hard. You might have to buy some parts like a single speed spacing kit and chain and cog, obviously, maybe even another chain ring. But get the right gearing and be okay with it. Having an arsenal of cogs is actually a very, very good idea. So so that's it. 5 through 1. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm gonna take some pictures here, and thanks for watching. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed my list of the 5 biggest challenges when starting out single speed. For those of you who've single speeded for a while, or have just started single speeding and it's fresh in your mind, let me know in a comment below what your biggest challenge has been. Well, I'm Nick from Ride Alongside. Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And I'll have more videos for you real soon.